Now here's another reason why they're installing that trim that way with the reveal. Here's an old existing window, and see they've got a little stop here before the window. Okay, so there's a slight reveal all the way around that. See? Got the same kind of reveal over here, going up there. That's what they're trying to do over here. It just happens to work out perfectly for them because they got it set up that way, and they're remembering to try to match existing conditions. So whenever you get a chance to replace something, if you're not replacing everything, try to check out the existing conditions and match the best you can. Remember, measure twice, cut once. Now see, even the best of us make mistakes once in a while. He's having to take this trim off because he measured flush with the top of the window instead of measuring from the top of the stucco on down, or the 2x4. See that other one? See the reveal there? We want that reveal all the way around when they forgot that. And so it's a good thing that they brought plenty of material. So make sure, here's a tip for you, make sure you bring extra material. Oh, we've got some excitement here. We've got the fire trucks here. Just make sure you get enough material, and I believe that they have enough, and they were prepared for anything that comes up. You know what I mean? Because let's just say you measure this exact and you made a mistake on your first window, or you didn't measure twice before you cut once and you came up short. Don't be short on your material though. Always get enough so that you can finish the job, and that's what they're going to do. Now here's one other thing I noticed. See this, the window seal that was installed the other day? Well, it looks really good, right? But once you put the trim on, it's almost flush with the outside edge. See right here? The window seal hangs out only about 1/4 inch. You know, and that's okay. But what we should have done was look at the existing window seal. Now see how this one here, this is an existing one that's going to stay. See how far it sticks out here? It sticks out about, oh, I don't know, close to 1.5 inches. Had we been thinking dabbity nabbit, we would have made that seal area out of longer, wider material. As it was, he used a 2x6 and he was still a little short, and put a little piece on there, and he had enough material. Had we been thinking about it, I wasn't really involved with that, but I could have thought about it, said, hey, wait a minute, why don't you match existing conditions? He could have came over here and matched that and measured over from the stucco or whatever, and known that he needs to come out further, or maybe make that assumption earlier, get a 2x8 out here, or 2x10, rip it down, and try to match up the existing conditions the best you can. But this is on another wall. It doesn't really match up too much with anything else over here, okay? And so nobody with a trained eye is even going to know that. Now let's take a look at this. See, somebody else, this window was installed after the fact. This wasn't installed the same time the old windows were installed, because this used to be something else. But they added, and see here, this only sticks out like 3/4 inch. To the front of the house building, it sticks out like 1.5 inches. And now this over here sticks out only 1/4. Okay, so take a look at all your existing conditions and match up as best you can. Now here's something else on the caulking. Remember I was saying it's really important to use the right type of caulking when you install your trim and everything. Well, the trim all looks nice and straight, and it looks nice and tight up at the joints. See that joint right there? That's nice and tight. But what's going to happen is this is new material, And after a while, when it dries, it's going to slightly shrink. And when it does, if you don't have the right caulking, your caulking could separate from your joints, could separate on the side over here by the stucco, could separate between the wood trim and the window frame, or the wood and the wood right here, or between the wood and the metal frame right there. So make sure you get something for exterior conditions, and you want something around windows that stretches, you know, like an elastomeric type caulking that has elastomeric in it so that it stretches when your trim shrinks. Or Volcom, I've heard of this stuff called Volcom that some window companies swear by. You want to get something really super good. Don't skimp when it comes to caulking. If you got any questions, talk to your local hardware store, talk to a salesperson, and make sure they know what they're talking about before they recommend the wrong caulking. And when it comes time to finish up your project, don't just rush through it. Do a good job. Spend some time on caulking. And the key to that is you don't want too thick of a tip, and you want a steady hand. Have a rag there ready to wipe off any excess, and just do the best you can. Now see, even though you get some trim and you do everything you can about pre-finishing it white, yeah, obviously after you nail it, you're going to have to fill the holes. And luckily you have some existing paint where you painted this trim, and you can do some touch-up. You might even want to give it a full coat once over on your main body of trim, let's say, especially your threshold too. Clean it all up, do a good job, and make it look like nobody was ever there. How long would you expect a little project like this to take to install the windows and the trim and everything? Well, they got here about 8 o'clock, got all set up, got ready to measure and everything. It's now just 11 o'clock right now. They got a little bit to do, some time to clean up, and they'll be done. So within 4 hours, they'll be completely done. Now, if you're doing it by yourself, with a helper or something, you better add some hours to that. But you know what? Spend some time, think about your project a little as you go. You can do it yourself, just like the pros. That's right, before you wrap up the job and you think you're done, don't forget to put the screens back on. And these are kind of slick. They got some little nibs right here, and I think those fit in there a certain way. I thought those kind of pressed in, but I guess they don't. And I'm sure they're going to fit in a special way. So make sure you stick those screens on. See, these are fixed, so those fit in the top on this particular window. And at the side bottom, there's a spring goodie right there. So you pull that back. You pull it back, and see it pushes in on the side, and then it snaps, oink, snaps into place along the side. I kind of like that. Yeah, even the pros clean up after themselves. Look, he's even got a leaf blower out here. They put a tarp over the little chair out here, little bench. And they're going to clean all this stuff up, because when they leave, they don't want you to ever know that they were here. And that's how I like to do it too. You do the same. See how the reveal is about the same at the top and on the side? That's what you want for this particular application. I kind of like how that reveal works. All windows are going to be measured the same. You get to decide how you want yours.